She was 67. Her knees swelled every night. Sleep came in fragments. And every morning, she woke up tired, foggy, like her body had forgotten how to heal. Maria had tried everything, expensive creams, prescriptions, even acupuncture, but nothing brought lasting relief. Until one evening, almost by accident, her daughter handed her a small amber bottle. "Mom," she said, "try this. Just rub it here, before bed." Maria looked down. It was castor oil. She hesitated. Could something so simple, so old, actually work? That night, with nothing to lose, she warmed 2 drops between her palms and massaged them just below her knees. Then she went to sleep. The next morning, she didn't feel pain first. She felt warmth, and over the next 2 days, the swelling started to fade. Her legs no longer throbbed by 4 p.m. She slept through the night for the first time in years. If you're over 50 and your joints scream louder than your alarm clock, or if your feet feel like cement blocks by the afternoon, there's something your body might be trying to tell you. Today, you'll discover the 7 body points where castor oil can gently restore circulation, ease inflammation, and calm your nervous system before sleep, using nothing more than your hands and a few quiet minutes each night. Have you ever tried a home remedy that actually worked? Drop a heart in the comments. I read every single one. And the most surprising part, the spot that made the biggest difference isn't where most people expect. We'll get there soon, but let's start from the top. It started with a sound, I'll show out a small ringing behind the ear that wouldn't go away. Paul, 72, thought it was just age, but what followed was worse. Shallow sleep, racing thoughts at 2 a.m., and a heaviness in his chest he couldn't explain. He tried cutting coffee, meditation, even sleep pills that left him groggy and dull. Nothing worked. And then, almost by chance, he came across something strange in an old Japanese remedy book. It said, "Rub castor oil gently behind the ears before sleep, and rest will return." He didn't believe it, but something about it felt gentle, safe. So he tried. 1 drop, each side, warmed between his fingers, small circles, just below the earlobe, right where the jaw meets the neck. That first night, he still woke at 2 a.m., but he fell back asleep. By the 3rd night, he slept straight through. And by the 5th, something else changed. He didn't just feel rested, he felt lighter, as if the weight pressing against his chest had been quietly lifted. What happened? Behind the ears lies a dense network of lymph nodes, part of the body's natural drainage system. Think of them as tiny exit ramps for inflammation. When blocked, toxins and fluid build up near the brainstem, affecting not just your sleep, but your balance, clarity, even mood. Castor oil doesn't force change, it invites it. With anti-inflammatory properties and a natural ability to move lymph, it gently clears the congestion, like opening a quiet back road during rush hour. It's not a miracle. It's your body, supported, not pushed. Try it tonight. 1 drop, 2 fingers, soft circles behind the ear. And if this brings relief, just wait until we explore the second point. The one that warmed Maria's feet after 10 cold winters. Maria used to wear socks to bed, not for comfort, but because her feet were ice cold. Even in the summer, they'd feel like stone by evening. And by morning, she'd wake up stiff, sluggish, like her body hadn't moved all night. She thought it was just bad circulation. It comes with age, her doctor said. But then she tried something old, something her grandmother used to whisper about. Rub oil into the soles before sleep, she had said. The body listens through the feet. So one night, Maria warmed 2 drops of castor oil. She sat at the edge of her bed, cupped her heel, and began to rub. The effect was quiet, but powerful. She felt warmth, not just in her feet, but climbing up her calves, like a soft current rising through her legs. She slept that night, deeply, fully. By the third night, her feet no longer ached. Her mornings felt easier, and strangely, she felt less heavy inside, as if something had started moving again. Here's why. The soles of your feet are packed with capillaries, nerve endings, and reflex points tied to every major organ, especially your liver and kidneys, the two key players in detox and circulation. When you rub castor oil into the soles, you're not just moisturizing, you're activating a two-way conversation, skin to blood, nerve to brain, touch to restoration. And because castor oil is a natural vasodilator, it helps open the tiny vessels that often constrict with age, especially at the extremities. Tonight, try it. Sit down. Warm a few drops. Massage slowly into the arch, heel, and ball of your foot. And if this unlocks better sleep, wait until you hear what happened when George rubbed just below his spine. George was 69, retired early, not by choice, but because he just didn't have the energy anymore. He'd wake up already drained. His hands trembled when holding a coffee mug. By mid-morning, he'd crash. Not just physically, but emotionally too. No motivation, no clarity, just a heavy, tired fog that followed him everywhere. Doctors checked his heart, ran labs. Everything looked normal. But George knew this wasn't how a man should feel in the morning. Then one night, while scrolling through a blog on fatigue and aging, he paused on a sentence. Your lower back isn't just your back. It houses your second engine, your adrenals. And just below that, a quiet tip. Rub castor oil into the soft tissue above the hips near the kidneys. Do it slowly. Do it before sleep. He tried it that night. The oil warmed between his palms. He leaned forward, placed his hands just above the waistband, and rubbed slow, steady circles. He didn't expect much, but something shifted. A wave of calm, a deeper breath, and then sleep. By the third night, the tremble in his hands faded. His mornings didn't start in a fog. He could focus again. And for the first time in years, he didn't feel the need to nap by 11 a.m. Why? The adrenal glands regulate cortisol, the hormone that controls energy, mood, and stress. As we age, they get overloaded. Gentle stimulation, paired with castor oil's natural anti-inflammatory action, helps reset the balance and quiet the overdrive. This isn't about forcing energy. It's about supporting the systems we forgot were tired. Try it tonight. Just 60 seconds. 2 palms. Warm oil. Your breath will tell you the rest. And if you think joint pain is just part of aging, Helen's story might make you think again. Helen used to dread stairs. She was 71, and just getting up from the couch came with a wince. Her knees weren't just stiff. They ached, swelled, and made this soft grinding noise she had come to fear. I guess it's arthritis, her neighbor said. We all get it. So Helen tried creams, cold packs, even one of those vibrating knee wraps from TV. They helped. For a day. But then she heard about castor oil, not just rubbed on top, but used with intention. She warmed a spoonful in her palms and began massaging it around her kneecap in slow, gentle circles, not just over the skin, but into the space around the joint, the place where inflammation tends to live. That night, her knees still hurt. But the swelling? Less. And by day 3, something strange happened. She stood up without holding the table. By day 7, she walked to her garden without thinking about it. What's happening here? The knee is a complex joint, layered with synovial fluid, cartilage, and soft tissues that get stiff with age. Castor oil is rich in ricinoleic acid, a fatty acid shown to reduce localized inflammation and promote circulation. It also penetrates deep, especially when used with warmth and gentle pressure. Think of it like oiling a rusty hinge, slowly, patiently, until movement returns. Try this tonight. Massage around the patella, front, sides, back crease, then wrap a warm towel over it for 10 minutes. Rest. Let it soak in. And if your joints have been shouting for years, this may be the first time they whisper, "Thank you." But what if joint pain is just one part? Dorothy's story shows how castor oil helped clear something else, her mind. Dorothy had always been sharp. She remembered every birthday, every grandchild's favorite snack, every line from her favorite books. But after she turned 66, things began to blur. She'd walk into a room and forget why. She'd lose her train of thought mid-sentence. It wasn't dramatic, just enough to feel off. At first, she joked about it. Senior moments, she'd say. But deep down, it scared her. Then one evening, she stumbled on a video about the pineal gland, the small, powerful regulator of sleep and clarity, nestled right in the center of the brain. And one line stayed with her. To calm the mind, start at the third eye. So that night, Dorothy did something simple. She warmed a drop of castor oil between her fingers, closed her eyes, and gently massaged the spot between her eyebrows. Not hard, just softly, like smoothing tension from the inside out. That night, she fell asleep faster. By the fourth night, something felt different. She woke up with thoughts already in place, not scattered but organized, focused. Her mind wasn't racing. It was resting. Here's why it works. That spot between your brows connects to the pineal gland through a dense network of nerves. Gentle stimulation here, especially before sleep, can help rebalance melatonin production and calm overactive thought loops. And castor oil, it seeps deep, softens the tissues, and promotes blood flow to the front of the brain, where attention, recall, and emotion live. It's not a magic trick. It's ancient wisdom meeting modern exhaustion. Try this tonight. Rub softly. Breathe slowly. Let your mind settle, not because it's tired, but because it finally can. And if mental fog has been your shadow, the next point might just help your gut let go too. Tom was a tough guy. Ex-military, always in control. But after 70, something shifted. His stomach turned into a war zone. Bloating, tightness, days without going. And then, a rush that left him weak and empty. It wasn't just uncomfortable, it was humiliating. He stopped going out, always planning around the bathroom. He told no one, just quietly withdrew. Until one day, his granddaughter, a nurse, visited. She looked him in the eye and said, "Your gut's not broken, Grandpa. It's just overwhelmed." And then she pulled out a small bottle. "Rub this over your lower belly, clockwise, before bed. Trust me." Tom raised an eyebrow. "Oil? On my stomach?" But he tried it. That night, he rubbed warm castor oil just below the navel. Soft circles, light pressure. It felt strange, then comforting, then necessary. By the third night, something moved. Not violently, gently. And then regularly. By the end of the week, his pants fit better. His mind felt clearer. And he laughed, really laughed, for the first time in months. What happened? The gut is a second brain. Packed with nerve endings, it holds tension, fear, and years of stress. Castor oil doesn't just sit on the skin, it penetrates, stimulates the vagus nerve, and helps activate the parasympathetic system, the one that tells the body, "You're safe now." It also encourages gentle peristalsis, that wave-like movement your colon needs but forgets with age. Try it tonight. Warm the oil. Rub slowly, clockwise, just below the belly button. And if your stomach's held your stress for too long, this may be the message it's waited years to hear. But for Evelyn, healing started even deeper, where sleep meets the breath at the base of the skull. Evelyn never snored in her life, at least not until her late 60s. But then it started. Shallow breathing, sudden gasps, and her husband waking her up with a gentle shake, saying, "You stopped breathing again." She didn't feel tired. She felt panicked. Every morning, she'd wake up with a dry mouth and a heart that raced before her feet even hit the floor. She tried breathing strips, a wedge pillow, even got tested for sleep apnea. But what helped the most was something no doctor had mentioned. Her friend Lila, a retired massage therapist, said, "Evelyn, try this. Just rub castor oil where your skull meets your neck, right at the base." So she did. Warm oil, gentle circles, just under the hairline. It felt strange, like touching a door she didn't know was there. That night, she still stirred, but less. By the fourth night, she stayed asleep. Her breath came slower, fuller. And her mornings? No racing, no fog, just calm. Why? The base of the skull houses the brainstem, the body's master switchboard for sleep, breath, and regulation. It's where the nervous system speaks softly to every organ. Slow down, you're safe. Rest now. But with tension, poor posture, and years of stress, that switchboard can short out. Castor oil helps soften the fascia and tissues here, improving blood flow to the medulla, the part of the brain that controls breathing and heart rate. And when paired with touch, the body listens. Try it tonight. Tilt your chin slightly forward, find the soft spot at the back of your neck, rub gently, and if your breath has felt like a fight lately, this may bring you peace. But the timing matters. Maria's biggest discovery wasn't where she rubbed the oil, but when. Maria had been rubbing castor oil on her knees for weeks. It helped. A little. Some nights were easier. Some, not so much. The pain would return. The stiffness, the fog. She thought maybe it wasn't working anymore. Then one night, while folding laundry in the quiet, she heard something on a podcast in the background. The body opens up 5 minutes before sleep, like a door you can't force, only wait for. She froze. That line felt personal. So she changed one thing. Instead of applying castor oil right after dinner, like she always did, she waited. She brushed her teeth, dimmed the lights, slowed her breath, and just as her body began to soften, she picked up the bottle. She warmed the oil between her hands, rubbed slowly with care. No distractions, just her breath and that stillness before sleep. Something changed. The next morning, she didn't just feel relief. She felt different, more rested, more whole, like her body had finally said, "I'm ready now." Here's why. As we drift towards sleep, the nervous system shifts, the heart slows, cortisol dips, skin temperature rises, blood vessels open, absorption deepens. The body becomes receptive. Apply castor oil too early, and your body's not listening yet. Apply it just before sleep, and the body receives it like a whisper at the perfect moment. It's not just about what you do, it's when you do it. So tonight, wait, no rush. Let the day soften. Let your mind descend. When your shoulders drop, when your breath gets quieter, that's the moment. Then begin. Oil, hands, stillness, and something ancient returning. And now that your body knows when, let's return to the beginning, to the moment Maria woke up, shocked, Maria didn't expect anything to change. She wasn't hoping for a miracle. Just a little peace, a little less pain, a little more sleep. But that morning, something felt different. She sat up, placed her feet on the floor, and waited. No sharp jolt, no dull pressure. Just warmth. She stood, cautiously, and walked toward the kitchen. Halfway there, she stopped, because her legs didn't. No limp, no wobble, no tension gripping the sides of her knees. And that's when it hit her. Her body had moved, freely, softly, in a way it hadn't in for years. She cried. Not because she was in pain, but because she wasn't. It wasn't instant, it wasn't dramatic, it was honest. That's how healing often works. Not like a lightning bolt, but like a whisper, a return. Sometimes we think healing means doing more supplements, more steps, more pressure. But what if it's the opposite? What if healing begins in stillness, in 5 quiet minutes, before sleep, in warm oil pressed into skin, in the gentle rhythm of breath and trust, saying, I'm here now, I'm listening. Castor oil isn't a cure, it's a conversation between you and the parts of yourself that have waited patiently to be touched, seen, softened. You don't need to get it perfect. You just need to begin. Try this for 7 nights. No expectations. Just kindness. Just presence. And if it works, not all at once, but gently, share it. Not as advice, but as hope. And if you're still wondering, there's one more spot we haven't talked about. The one even doctors forget. It's hidden. Small. Easy to miss, but powerful when touched. I'll share it in the next video. Until then, rest well. Your body remembers how, and you are allowed to heal.